that one's correct.
Call meeting to order. Geneva Town Council meetings are now live streamed and recorded. Your participation in the meeting is your consent to the recording and rebroadcasting of the meeting of the town's YouTube channel. If we please rise for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Let the roll call reflect all town council members are present. Clerk treasurer is present. Our town attorney is not present at this meeting. And welcome honored guests. Report of the clerk treasurer 2027 budget for the town of Geneva for discussion.
So I've sent out the budget for you all. I also included like items of note, things that are added to the budget for 2027. I included copies of each department head that provided me with like their 5-year plans, so you could see what they're looking at as well as a possible new invoice billing process for utilities and the auto pay for utilities as well. I guess, anybody have any questions or want to talk to me about anything? I know some of you have reached out to me via email and answered questions that way. I mean, I can go down through my items of note if you want. I've put in a 3% payroll increase for all employees, including police department, council, myself.
How'd you write with 3%? Is that what everybody else is doing?
That's typically what everybody else is doing.
Is that what you went by?
Mhm. The police and fire department clothing allowance got a 3% increase. Council got a 3% increase. I went ahead and budgeted, and this is entirely up to council. I budgeted for the Lexipol contract that the lady presented to us a couple months back when we were talking about hiring Lexipol for the fire truck grant. It's a $15,000 2-year contract. We get 2 grants a year for a total of 4 grants, and then 6 grants they'll review that we write a year for a total of 12. And I've broken it down between general for like police and fire, and then utilities, broke it down that way. If this is something that we want to do, maybe we need to talk about doing it this year and just paying the difference, is what she discussed when she presented it to us. What was it,
Months
June?
ago.
But I know Matt is probably going to be looking at grant opportunities for different pieces of equipment. The police department can look for grant opportunities, maybe for equipment, automobiles, whatever. And the fire department is already utilizing grants as much as they can. This might be something worthwhile to do.
So you said that Lexipol will write 2 grants and review 6
Per year,
per
for 2
year,
years.
per year?
Yep.
Review 6 per year.
So basically that breaks down to $7,500 a year.
Okay.
Is that their cap? Are they capped at a certain amount?
I think that's just what the contract that they offer for us.
Okay.
I imagine they could probably do more. We just have to pay more
Yeah.
for it. And Mark, you said you should know first part of October if we get the grant you applied for. So that's something maybe keep in the back of our mind if I'm choosing to think positive, when we get the grant for the fire truck. This might be a worthwhile expense, but ultimately that's the 5 of yours decision. I just put it in as a thought.
She told us in that meeting that day that if that idea is something we wanted to do, if we decided within, was it 60 days after we did the one we just did,
I don't remember.
they would allow us to add the difference. So if we've already paid 5,700, so instead of 15,000, it will be 9,300, and we'd have that same benefit. Instead of waiting till next year, then we would owe the 15. Still gonna kind of get the same thing. I don't know, other than we wrote 1, so.
Yeah.
That was just the other thing she offered. If we decided within, I want to say she said 60 days from the time we wrote that first one. Maybe she said 90. I don't recall.
Which, what was the drop dead date on that?
Well, we did it in,
I feel like we
June or
did it in
July?
June.
so it would be letting them
We might
know
be right at that.
probably
Right
this
at-
month or
right
next
at the
month,
60.
probably. Yeah. No, I'm not saying we need to do it. I'm like Tina, if it's something the council decides they want to do,
Mhm.
Well, I'm just wondering where we can come up with the $9,300
this year.
this
yeah,
year.
Versus next year.
It was just something to keep in the back of your
Right.
mind if we decide we wanted to do it.
I think it's something to seriously consider.
Especially, there's a lot of big ticket items that the utility departments are requesting between now and the next 5 years that it may behoove us to have that opportunity to have somebody do the grant for us. They can't guarantee it, but
Mhm.
I think the proof in the pudding, so to speak, will be in October when we get a result on the fire truck.
Um,
And we won't be finalizing this until the October meeting, so there's always the potential.
Well, we can leave it in and we don't have to spend it.
Exactly.
Definitely, yeah, you can always
I
prove
I
putting
would
a
rather,
budget
I'd rather
together.
have it there and not spend it, but then have to go back and do a special appropriation to authorize it.
Number 3 is the auto pay that was brought up last year that was tabled, as well as Keystone billing. There's the $4,000 setup that I've broken down between water, wastewater, stormwater, et cetera. It's gonna save us, the Keystone billing portion is gonna save us about $5,000 a year after we pay for the initial, fee for that. The invoices, I included copies with your paperwork. They're examples of what the bills are gonna look like. We can customize them. So what will happen is Sally will, it's not really gonna save a whole lot on the labor, it's really saving more on the actual bill. The postcards run right now about 51 cents each. We're mailing out like 700 a month approximately. If we flip to this voice invoicing, it drops it down to 28 cents each. If we wanted to add a return envelope, it's an additional 2 cents. But Bern does use this. A lot of the municipalities use this, and it's the invoice, the delinquent, and the disconnect. And again, we can customize the top for the town of Geneva, that kind of thing. Sally would still do what she always does, get everything together, use Neptune, work with the guys to make sure she has all the meter readings. And then she has like 7 days before the bills are to go out. She uploads it to Keystone, then they mail it out. And it's an actual full-size bill, not a postcard. In this yellow section, we can put all sorts of things like grass clippings or fall fest or whatever.
Now, does the utilities clerk have to have this submitted to Keystone 7 days prior to the billing date, or does?
Yes.
Now, what happens if somebody comes in after she's sent this out and made their payment, then their bill's not gonna reflect what their actual balance is?
Right. And I mean,
How is that compensated for?
they're just gonna call and talk to us most likely. Hey, I paid that. We get that now. That bill's crossing in the mail. I suggested to Sally to reach out to Katie and Byrne, who is the utility clerk, to ask some questions. She's reached out to Keystone. She's done some legwork to get some of her questions answered. She appears to be on board with the billing as well as the auto pay. And she knows where she can go to ask her questions. I suggested she also go to Byrne, make an appointment to go up there and watch them do the auto pay. I watched Katie process 700 payments in 15 minutes.
Now, is the auto pay set up through Keystone, or is that something that we can do through the bank?
Both. It's a Keystone program that will send out, say, for example, if Andrew wants to do auto pay, he'll have something he'll have to fill out. Byrne's example of that is also included in that as well. They turn that back into us. We would then upload that information into the Keystone program. And then when it's time, whatever day of the month we pick, for example, the Byrne does it like the 15th of the month, their bills aren't due till the 20th. She creates the file on Keystone, uploads it to the bank for the ACH, and that's how they get their payments that way. And then I think she does another upload after it processes in order to upload it into the utilities to make sure the payments are posted. So again, this is something I think would be great. I'd like to see it approved in the budget, even if we don't do it right at the beginning of 2027 while we're waiting to work out some bugs. Make sure Sally's good to go with it. But the auto pay, I definitely would like to see, because we've tabled that already.
I'd like to see the auto pay too. Whether it's something that can be set up through the bank, I don't know, is there a charge for the bank to set up auto pay, Andrew?
I think
I
they
asked
told
Bob
us no.
Rhodes.
But
He
you
said
know, it's just
no.
that you just dump it in,
Yeah.
just an ACH file.
Yeah, I confirmed with Bob Rhodes that they wouldn't be charging us anything for that.
So I'm wondering, would it save us any money if we did all the ACH and set it directly through the bank as opposed to setting it through Keystone? Is there any advantage there?
I'm not quite sure how to do it without doing it through Keystone because it's gonna integrate with the utility bills
Okay,
or the utility accounts.
okay.
I think having them both in the budget, like you said, if you don't do it, you don't spend it.
If we
but
don't spend it,
We're actually saving money down the road to do the one she's talking about. You know, we're gonna be 5,000 ahead eventually. So it
Mhm.
seems, and it's gonna be hopefully simpler going forward.
Because the postage isn't gonna change. They do bulk postage like we do. It's just really saving money more on just the actual invoicing. We may, Sally and I have went back and forth about it a little bit, you know, as far as we're not sure if we'd have to change the sewer water ordinance because the water ordinance specifies how we do our billing kind of thing. We don't know if that's gonna have to be changed. We may even just start it, maybe we just send out the initial invoice and then she does the delinquents just until we get our bearings with it. Or we do the invoices and the delinquents and then we still do the hangups for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I liked about it is, you know, especially if we can do the ACH, because, you know, in our meeting this morning, she discussed, she sends out like 700 a month.
Mhm.
And about average of 100 are delinquent.
Yep.
And then we did 26 hangups today. So if there was ACH, maybe that 100 delinquents would drop
A little
and
bit.
it'd be less having to manage.
Mhm.
But 26 hangups is quite good.
Yeah.
All right.
So then I had, I'm sorry, go ahead.
go ahead.
I have an email out to insurance to see what it might look like. I emailed insurance. I'm using that 20% guesstimate. He said, considering our medical bills for the town, sorry about all that, kind of out of my control. We probably will have a minimum of a 20% increase this year on our health insurance premiums. So that's kind of what I did on that. The fire truck, although I have,
Is that through Bixler?
yes.
Okay.
Although I have it down for the 465,000 where it's coming from, I realize the one we looked at could be about 550. So I'm gonna do some more work to get those numbers up to that because I was asked to make sure this was in the budget. So I know you probably saw that and thought, Tina, why not 550? I'm working on it, I promise. My big thing under just general stuff is Cody's pay for 2027. Because right now in our salary ordinance, we have it broken down like by streets, by water, by wastewater. And right now in the salary ordinance, Cody has his own section because of the apprenticeship. Now that he's out of the apprenticeship, his hourly wage doesn't match anything for water, wastewater, or streets.
Mhm.
So I was talking with Matt, trying to figure out where we could put him, but even still, his hourly rate isn't gonna match like the 2-year, 3-year, 4-year, et cetera. So we're probably gonna have to put him in as his own person still in the salary ordinance. I don't know, this is new to me.
So the salary ordinance is the problem. It's not where you need to pull the money from.
Right.
It's how to write the ordinance to get the pay scale, because our pay scale doesn't allow that wage.
Correct.
Okay, I see what you're doing.
And then, thank you. And then Matt and I were talking, because I said, you know, what does he do the most from? Because again, we break down everybody's pay by departments, whether it's water, wastewater, you know, general, whatever. What did we ended up deciding, like a third or something?
Yeah, he probably spends the majority of the time between water and wastewater.
So maybe 40, 40, and 20
Yeah.
kind of thing, but He's probably gonna have to be his own person on the salary ordinance.
I don't know, on the salary ordinance, I don't have that in front of me, I know I've got it, but, on the scale of one of those water or wastewater, because they follow kind of the same
Mhm.
amount, is there, even if we change the year of service he's at, just to get this amount, is there one that's close to this?
I
The
don't think there
2753, nothing?
I
Like,
don't think there
if he was
was.
5 years, would it be that, or 6 years? So we wouldn't have to rewrite and just put him there.
Yeah,
It's an idea, I don't know.
let me look at that.
That way
Make a
you're
note
not
of this.
rewriting something for one employee. I don't know, it may not work.
No, it's a good idea. Make myself a note on to do that.
I don't know, but
That
yeah.
was just the odd one.
I
as
now I
was-
understand your question. I didn't understand it on here, but now I know what you meant. You meant on the salary ordinance.
Yeah, on the salary
How to
ordinance.
write the ordinance.
Because that's gonna be coming up too for next year that we'll have to work on as well.
Okay.
So, I have created an appropriation for the fire contracts. It's actually gonna be under, the Coombe Fire as a sub-account. That's where we'll put in the money that we get from the fire contracts. For next year, I'm budgeting $7,600 out of that towards their turnout gear. Because that is one of the items that Mark has on their list, and then it won't come straight out of your equipment budget. Since we kind of talked to the townships about that fire contract money is used for equipment, training, things like that. So we wanted to make sure we were taking the right things out of that, but it also will build money also towards the fire truck, the next fire truck as well.
And your purpose is not to replace every piece of soft gear when it ends its life cycle of 10 years. You don't want to have to replace it all. You want to have it staged through a period of years.
If we can do grants, that's what we've been doing, we've done a couple of years, if we apply for grants, we don't get it, and then we apply for a grant, then we get it. And then it's like, okay, we got 4 sets that are a couple years old, then the rest will get done at once, and that's where we're at today. Budget wise, it is easier to do smaller amounts every year, but if we can get a grant that cuts the cost down to 90% is covered in a grant, it's the best savings for the community. So we're gonna continue to keep applying for grants as we go forward, but if we get one, it solves that problem. Yeah, right now I'm just putting it in there, so we're budgeting, like you said
Right.
before. The money's there, so we can make sure we're
And
set up for success.
I like grants, but with today's things going on in the tax world, there's no guarantee that money's gonna be there. I like the idea of putting it in there so if it's needed.
Yeah, you all have copies of the police, the fire, and the utilities, what their budget plan is for next year and the next 5 years. They're all very, you can see it very clearly. So, we'll end up taking the 7,600 that he's requesting out of the new account for the fire contract, since it's equipment that they need. So, Lynn asked me to find money for a part-time utility employee using the bottom number, like the entry-level hourly rate at 1,500 hours for the year. That's $29,950.
Mhm.
And I've split that between streets, water, and wastewater. Part-time employee isn't going to get insurance, we don't have all the extra benefits with that. So that's in there. Moving to the general fund, your fire department car and clothing allowance. I know there was some question. Mark talked to me about it. Stan talked to me about it, where we're supposed to pay them, make sure we're paying them like $500 a year. Just the car and clothing allowance alone, broken down by 20 firefighters, which I know you have a little less than that right now, is $504.85. And then the comp fire that's in our budget, that's based on the number of runs. So that's gonna vary for each fireman.
My concern on that is I understand what the governor wrote up, and if you read the bill, it's pretty simple. But I don't want to get sideways with it. Like if you got 20 firefighters and you're paying them 504 on average or
Clothing.
whatever,
Car,
it doesn't say on average.
Mhm.
if State Board of Accounts comes back and says, how many firefighters you got, and it's at 20, show me where you paid each one of them $500.
Mhm.
Now, I don't know if that's the case, but the
That's the
bill
way
is
it's written.
pretty clean.
I think
just-
you're right.
it's-
I
it's
think that
only
is how it's
this
written.
long.
250 for each, the
Yeah,
clothing and
fire
the
and
car
clothing.
allowance.
So I just don't want to get sideways with it. And I don't really care how you handle it. It's just that if the bill doesn't say that you can pay by participation, it says each one of them needs to be paid $500.
So for budgetary, because we're talking about, we can always budget a number and not spend it.
Absolutely. Well,
So if she's got 504, do we budget 600, but knowing they're only each going to get 250 for each, $500 out of that account?
that's not my concern.
That's not, okay.
No, the concern is that the governor, when he wrote it into law, was very specific that each firefighter needs to get $500 a year. Even though you're paying on an average, if they come back and say, are you paying each firefighter $500 a year? That's the question. So
Well-
we had typically paid on some type of participation.
But they were talking clothing and car allowance. They weren't talking about the other comp.
Neither am I.
Oh, okay.
Are you paying them $500 a year, each one?
For
Each
clothing and
The
car.
way the compensation is done different than what you're depicting. It's taking a little bit of our non-for-profit bylaws of how we take that payment and how we divide it. It's not how the town's divided. It's how the non-for-profit divides it. Because the way in the salary ordinance is the chiefs get paid a set salary by the town. It's a percentage of what the allowance is, or the compensation is.
Mhm.
The remainder of that goes to the department, and that's where the department decides
Okay. And that's,
for participation. So I think as you divide out by the state, that compensation would say, yes, you're paying the minimum.
and that's fine.
And then if they want to come after the non-for-profit and say, well, this member may not have received it, well, it's in our bylaws that says based on her participation.
And that's fine, that's fine with me, providing we don't get sideways with the state, because
Yeah.
the other guys that I were talking to were very specific on it. And I just don't want to get sideways with them. How you handle it is
Yeah.
fine.
I
So if the
think they're two
town-
different funds. Well,
Because the town, I think, pays one check to the fire department,
Yeah,
and then
there's
you write a
two
check
different
on
accounts.
account.
that's the comp, yeah.
The car and clothing is a check that Tina
Tina
bases
does.
out, the number of firemen for the calendar year that they.
Mhm.
were
And I
active.
do the checks for
That's what
those.
they get paid out of that. So
Right.
based on how many numbers is how that breaks down.
Right.
That's fine. I just don't want to get sideways
Yeah,
with them.
yeah,
That's
they're
not
two
what the bill
different
says.
funds.
No, I
But that's,
understand.
that's okay.
So.
I mean, I'm all right with it. I mean,
Yeah,
that-
I
as
read
long
the
as,
bill was only car and clothing allowance.
Yeah.
yeah,
not
car and clothing.
This one.
Compensation for.
Yeah, true. Car and clothing,
So if it's
$500.
just car and
Sure.
clothing, are you anticipating having more than 20 firefighters in 2027?
I would love to have more. than 25.
I know you would love to, but in reality, do you think you will?
We have not historically in the last 7 years maintained more than 22.
Okay,
So historical data would say that's going to be hard to get over 22 for the next year.
So we budget $500 times
22.
22, 24, whatever number we decide.
And if
that-
we don't spend it.
And that's the line item, we're good.
Right.
We satisfied the state and and then it goes to them and then they disperse it.
My question is this a fund that you can roll the money over to next year, or can you, transfer? So if you put in more than, say you put in for 30 firemen, and we only have 20, the remainder of that 10 firemen at $500 doesn't mean you have to pay it out, right?
Right.
So you could roll that into next year's or
It would just-
reappropriate it to a different fund?
It would just stay in general, and when we do the budget next year, you put in the amount again that you need.
Yep.
So it just stays
Yeah,
in
it's
our
just
general
general.
fund.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Historically,
It just doesn't
the
get
town has
spent.
always allowed the fire department to have up to 30 members.
Okay.
So if we're, in my opinion, if we're gonna figure it, best case scenario, we get to 30 members, which we used to 20 years ago. But it's money that then maybe doesn't get used. That's why I'm just hoping, okay, if we don't have that, Tina can then move it, ask to be council's approval to use that money elsewhere. And then we're covering all bases, and we're not shortfalling any dollars.
Yeah, I think that meets the intent of what the state's dictating.
So put it up a little bit in case we have 22 or 24. Just make the difference and only
Pick a number.
spend, yeah, only spend what we actually would need. I mean, she can always do an amendment to it if we ended up
If we
being
have
blessed
to.
with 26.
Right. May I ask how many you have right now? Do you know off the top of your head?
Right now, we're at 19, but, one member is leaving next week, so it'll be 18.
Okay. Maybe I'll just change it to like 22, just to be safe. At $500.
All right.
Okay. One of the items on the fire department's list is new office windows and a roof. That's in the budget, although there's money left over from when we did the encumbrance for them for the bathroom.
Mhm.
So there is money, if he can get a quote that fits what's left, we could do some of that this year because it's already been budgeted. But it's in next year's budget in the event that we don't get to it this year.
Unfortunately, as we get into the council meeting, the sewer, cast iron sewer project that we're dealing with, I think,
The roof's gonna wait.
Gonna blow the budget?
it's not gonna blow the budget, but we're not gonna have enough to
Gotcha.
Do
tackle
both.
those this year.
Okay.
If we go down this path. with the sewer.
For the roof or the windows, you think?
For-
For the roof or the windows?
The quotes I got,
Okay.
Oh,
cited about, so.
crap.
The fire or the police department has budgeted new laser sights for their service weapon. That's in the budget, which is just coming out of their normal
Equipment fund.
equipment budget. It's not anything, any extra. I did and am requesting to increase the police and fire training budgets from 1,500 to 3,000, which still isn't probably going to be enough, but it's a start in the right direction. So that's going to be new for 2027,
That's for us to bring in outside instructors.
or to send them to training
Or to
or
send them
something.
to.
Yes. If it's something that the fire department can't train in-house or the police department.
If there's training material like plywood or something,
Mhm,
we use
that
those
too.
monies to,
Okay.
we're gonna chop holes through plywood or a door or something. That's what it's-
Yeah. Park equipment fund is normally like $9,000, but so much of Cardinal Park is going through TIF right now. I'm requesting to increase that to $20,000 next year, so we can put $15,000 towards Affolter Park to start making some improvements there if we can. And then 5,000 towards Cardinal Park again, because most of that's coming from TIF right now. The next one, the attorney budget. If you saw the email, we have already spent our 25,000 for the attorney this year, and we're gonna start being charged $250 an hour. So this month now is gonna hit us. So I just kind of upped it to 30,000 for next year to kind of try to maybe have a little extra in case we do the same thing next year.
Are we gonna contract more hours for that 30,000?
We'd have to
Because
talk to.
right now it's 100 hours for the 25,000.
Right. We can ask him if he wants to do that.
Well,
I
are
haven't
we
talked to
really
him
wanting
about it.
to increase that or allow for the extra hours? I mean, we had a lot of extra hours this year that hopefully we would not have.
I was
every
just
year.
wanting to have like a little extra cushion, so maybe if we get to November next year, we hit that $25,000 mark,
Yeah,
then we've got a little extra to pay for December.
Well, part of all the hours extra hours have been billed is because of unique questions from learning curves for council or for the clerk's office.
Bun cost us a lot.
That we shouldn't have next year.
Right.
Yeah,
No, I
Well-
like your idea.
and we did a lien on a nuisance property that he had to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I provided everything to him, but he still had to do it. We've had a lot of ordinances changes this year. The BZA stuff, I think, was also.
Well, and Bun
And
cost us a fortune.
all of that, yeah, but July was.
And Brightspeed, or was that last year?
Mostly last year. July was an expensive month.
Well, I mean, we got over a third of the year left. I mean, we're gonna pay this dude 40 grand. I mean, on a $25,000 budget. You know, I mean, even if we would go ahead and blow the budget out for $30,000, you know, I mean, I'm not sure what 100 hours is worth. Why don't we just go ahead and bill us for 200 hours and see where we're at from there? I mean, we've got to be able to try to keep this under control to a certain degree.
Right, we don't want to bill for 200.
Well, no, but we're ready to blow through our 100 hours before the middle of August.
I mean, if we only used 1 hour for a budget meeting each of the next months, that's only $1,250,
As long as we're keeping it under
$1,250.
control, I don't care how we do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I like what Tina's thinking is keep the 25 as the budget, but allow enough that if we go over hours, we got an extra $5,000.
Just in case.
That's quite a bit
That
of
wouldn't be enough
hours.
for this year.
Should be.
No.
No.
Why
Well,
won't it be?
I'm wondering.
We
We're
only
ready
need
at
12.50.
25,000. We got 4 or 5 months left.
Yeah, at $250 an hour.
Okay.
Well, even if we take it 2 hours every month, that's only,
We haven't been able to keep it under 8.
hours a month? Is that what it's been?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
8, 10, 12 hours a month.
There's just been a lot of things this
Nuts.
year.
Well, we've had a lot of unusual things, so.
Mhm.
Is there the possibility that some of the questions that we've been utilizing him for, that we could get an answer from another source, like the State Board of Accounts or?
I've been doing that, yes, but there are some things that they can't
So
answer
we
and they
still-
refer
we
me to
still-
my attorney.
Okay. all right.
Yeah, or to our
But
attorney.
if we got a quick question for him, we can ask him the question during the council
Right.
meeting as well, and he's already on the clock.
Right, exactly.
Because I mean, every email, every phone call to this guy is costing us at least a quarter hour.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not opposed to him doing what he does. That just happens.
Yeah.
But the thing is if I say, oh, that's a good question for Nick. $65.
Who hired him?
We
Yeah,
all
that's right.
did. We all did.
When?
I don't know.
You guys appoint him at the beginning of the year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's appointed every.
I mean, we
We have
just-
somebody authorized to do
And
all
it
questions.
doesn't matter what.
Everything
attorney
filters
we
through
use,
one
it's
person,
gonna-
because
I know.
our thing
gonna
we
do
used
the
to have
same.
is
And
10
I think-
people
I
would call the
think it's
attorney and we get
service.
10 different
Right.
bills.
Yeah.
I don't
If
want
we
to
have
send
some kind
lawyers.
of a,
You used to always go
Consistent.
through the clerk for the most part, although the president usually would ask questions
Yeah.
too.
I mean,
The
that's
only
a-
ones that I'm on is the ones he's contacted me on some of these things.
I'm
Agnes
just
was
asking,
this, yeah.
who's authorized to bill, to
Oh,
do the hours?
Exactly.
yeah, I guess we've not done that. It's a good question.
Well, it's just.
Yeah.
You know, if
Send the
Matt calls
questions.
up and, spends 3 hours, you know, and you didn't know about it,
Right.
it's a surprise.
Okay,
Let's leave it the way you got it,
um,
but we're gonna have to
come up with a different
be
plan.
very prudent.
Okay.
I've increased the janitorial budget because we've got the new PD, supplies for the town hall for across the street, the ball diamonds during ball season, toilet paper and stuff for the fire department bathrooms, the public bathrooms. I'd like to get the windows cleaned here because they look pretty rough. So that's increased. And I put in 2 TV monitors for this room. I know you asked me to budget $10,000 to upgrade the audio visual. Matt and I kind of talked a little bit about it. Everything seems to be working okay right now. We would like to do the 2 TV monitors, one, over here that council can see, one up there that the audience can see. So if we're doing a presentation, it's not all a piece of paper, people can see it. But we can't do anything until after the mold stuff is taken care of. So that I did put in. There's already so much in. I'm not sure if the audio visual increase that you're wanting cannot wait till maybe 2028.
You guys get a kind of a feeling of numbers that are watching this meeting?
I have no idea.
No way to know it, is there?
Not until we're done.
We don't know if it's 1 or 2 or 5.
Can you tell?
Can you
Yeah,
tell
Probably tell
how many
now.
people are watching?
I think you can.
Yeah, you
There's
can.
a dashboard
tell?
that tells us that.
Good.
Moving to streets, they're requesting a new roller for about $15,000. Agnes was checking with Tiff and it sounds like that could be a possibility.
Yeah. Did everybody get the email that I forwarded then from State Board of Accounts? Said as long as it fits in one of those categories, they don't care if we decide we're gonna do it. It looked like G and J or whatever ones I sent you looked like they're possibilities. I also forwarded to Bill Warren. Bill said we'll bring it up at our next meeting because evidently he's feeling like possibly that reads okay. So we'll try it, or we're gonna think that we're gonna try it. So that's what I got on that.
Water, Cody's truck is up for replacement. What year is his truck? Do you know off the top of your head? This is a 2011 truck. It's up for replacement. I've budgeted for a used truck for $40,000 out of water depreciation.
This is for a 1 ton or a 3/4 ton.
It is a one ton.
His is a truck, does it have a lift on it?
Yeah, but we don't want to replace that.
You don't?
No.
Okay, so we're just going down to a standard truck,
Just what he has, take the,
lift off.
we like the compartments on the side because he carries a lot of water supplies.
Okay, but we don't need a lift.
Yeah. We've got something else that we've
Right.
created.
Sure.
Flipping to wastewater, last year Doug and I talked about the panels that needed to be replaced. He needed like 6 and he was able to break it down for 3 for 2026. The other 3 to be replaced in 2027, which will come out of the wastewater equipment for 24,000. I've budgeted $20,000 for the wet well blower backup motor replacement. That's on Matt's list. And the crawler camera that was broken, that goes down into the sewer pipes, needs to be replaced. Matt's thinking it's about 10,000, and we're thinking wastewater because that's what we use, because we talked about what he uses it for, so I would know where it'd come from. Take that out of sewage depreciation for 2027. Stormwater, the leaf vac needs replaced. And Matt's been educational with me as far as like what they use this equipment for. And the leaf vac, you said you use a lot for like the storm drains, right?
Can be used for that.
So, budgeting that out of stormwater cash operating and depreciation so we can get that if you approve it. The street sweeper, he's also said is with the storm drains, we can budget I budgeted the $8,000 to do the repairs and the brushes for that out of stormwater. And the Kubota upgrade that we do every year for $3,500 to come out of stormwater. And then trash, we did not raise trash rates in 2026, even though our costs went up with the new contract. I'm just suggesting maybe a 5% increase for 2027. It's gonna take in town from $15.75 a can to $16.54, and outside of the town limits, so like in Sealand, from $17 a can to $17.85 a can. Trash that we do right now that everybody pays on their bill, it pretty much is a wash. What we get is what we're paying out. And we've probably got maybe, after that's all said and done, maybe $60,000 or $70,000 in that account. So if we needed to do anything extra for trash that's outside of our contract, we would have something there.
I was thinking that when we got the new trash contract, the first year was actually a little bit less than what we had been paying. And so that's why we decided not to raise.
Right.
But because of inflation and everything else, we didn't have a choice for 27.
I thought 5% was pretty
That's
reasonable,
fairly reasonable.
but I'm open to
How long is
suggestions.
that contract? Is that a 3-year?
Yeah.
That's good.
Water mains. If we were going to replace some of these 4-inch water mains, I know we have stuff in our budget to always do those kinds of things, but we haven't done them. Would that come out of water budget, like water depreciation?
Probably
I
somewhere
assume-
in water, if they're water mains, yeah.
Okay, so if we look at what we got in water depreciation for next year, I don't know how much it costs, and maybe you know, Matt, and maybe you don't, to replace some of those 4-inch lines to a 6-inch line. Are we talking $5,000 to do one, or $10,000? I have no clue. But if we look at what we put in water depreciation, an approximate cost of 85,000, but 40 is for the truck. And then 10 maybe for that camera. So that's 55. So that leaves us like 30 in depreciation. I don't know how many water mains we might be able to replace for 30,000. Can we get something done next year? Because I think you said there's not really much of anything left this year, right, out of water. So it doesn't look like if we get anything done, it won't be much of anything.
And depending on what it could cost, maybe we could try to figure something out to replace something, but you're gonna need some
So-
Would
costs.
we have to have engineering studies done on that? Have Choice One or somebody?
That is not my area of expertise.
4-inch
on
tubes.
Replacing some of them lines, they would have to be involved in one way or another.
I would recommend that because it is major road.
Yeah,
15-50
Maybe
split between.
engineering?
Yes.
It'd be nice to know how much per foot, so we could.
yeah, that's a number we need to have.
I mean, I would like to see if we need to add something in our budget for that.
Okay,
We
Yeah.
consider that before we set the budget, because we've been talking about replacing these 4-inch mains for
Yeah.
years, and we just never,
And some of them, there's a couple of simple ones I know of. One of them's on Railroad Street where there's a 6-inch line next door to a 4-inch line.
Yeah.
That the hydrant's on.
yeah. I think they told us there's 2 on Railroad
Yeah.
Street that are like that.
And that'd be a short thing, but still, I think there's some engineering things that we'd have to have involved in there
Yeah, I have no idea about the
to
engineering.
require all the.
Mhm. And then the miscellaneous on water, we have well inspections. We got 30,000 in there. I don't remember what the numbers were on there. But we can take out that part where it says lead in the pipes. It's just been on here from
We can
before
remove
you,
it. Okay,
because from all the things that Trent has worked on, I think it's shown that we don't have any lead pipes anymore.
We're all
We're
compliant on that.
done. So I would just take that lead
Yep.
part out of there.
I can do that. No
On the
problem.
miscellaneous, so well inspections, I mean, it's miscellaneous if we have any extra money there to do the water line replacement. I just don't remember how much the inspections were.
So when you, when you took the money from 26 to 27, from 25 to 30 under miscellaneous, was that just like an arbitrary
What I do is
stuff?
I look at what we've
Looking
spent
at
like
their
year to
report.
date, and if it looks like we're gonna be running close or short, I've upped it a little bit in
Okay.
preparation for next year's.
Kind of where that came
Yes.
from.
Mhm.
So what I'm looking at is what the department heads are giving me, then I'm pulling up the fund account to see what money's actually in the account, and then I'm looking at what we've spent out of it.
Right.
Because like, so some of them for like insurance, like the building insurance, the numbers may look a little bit lower this year on a couple of them, but it's because when I looked at what we've actually spent year to date, I way over budgeted that last year. For my first budget, I didn't think I did too bad. So I lowered it, but still did an increase because it's gonna go up, most likely, so
And
that's,
these, yeah, and these lists that we got, Matt didn't have a chance to run these because Matt wasn't here. So some of what's on the water where it says depreciation, water main replacement, 20,000, that's something Jane had in when Jane was still here, and it's just never changed. I don't know if 20,000 is enough to do anything. So some of these numbers, like, there's so many well inspections and different inspections on here. I don't think they do that many inspections, and they're all the same exact amount. 12,500, 12,500, 12,500. There's like 3 or 4 of those. So I don't know how real some of this is yet, but Matt's not had a chance to know.
If you would take a look at the front page of the budget sheet,
Yeah.
it's really, really difficult for me to try to understand it. So let's go down to deputy clerk.
okay.
All right,
What?
so we wanted our 2022 and we have a number,
Mm-hmm,
and then 23 is about half that.
mm-hmm,
24 is about the same,
mm-hmm.
25 is about the same,
Which one's?
26 is half,
Oh, deputy.
and then
Mhm.
27 is lower.
I think what's probably happened prior to me coming in, because our pay, like, for example, all the police pay comes out of general. My pay is broken down, the deputy clerk's pay is broken down by percentages by department. So some of ours comes out of general, some comes out of water, wastewater, and streets. So it's probably changed the percentages would be my guess.
I mean, it's
On
super
that.
difficult to decipher if you're not
Mhm.
working with it every day, because I don't no idea why some of this might have went up or some of this might have went
I
down.
don't think I have a copy with
I
me.
mean, and it's okay, we don't have to do it tonight. It's just that I'm looking at these numbers and it just, they don't,
You are always welcome, my door is always
oh,
open.
I understand that.
But I actually have a spreadsheet that I figure out like the raises and it breaks it down. So it says like, for example, Matt, it'll have his name and then it has across the top like general, streets, water office, water plant, wastewater office, wastewater plant. And that comes straight off of the salary ordinance, the percentages where we take his pay out of. so you can see what's coming out of where. I'll do better next time.
No,
Make
that's,
sure you
that's
have
fine.
it
So,
you
so
can
the
see
deputy
it.
clerk, when it comes in, it says a 3% increase, which is salary and longevity pay. No big deal right there. I mean, obviously, it's not $3,343.
Right, that's just
So
what
that's
comes
just,
out of general.
it's just something else.
Yeah,
It just shows up out of general fund, and the rest of them may be coming out of some other funds.
correct.
But when we're looking through this, it's really
Yeah.
very difficult to tell
Mhm.
exactly
And
where these
there was a
numbers are.
webinar that we listened to that some municipalities are starting to group more of
Mhm.
their budgeted categories.
Mhm.
So there are some municipalities that are doing just like wages.
They
It's
just
a heck of a lot easier to follow. So I don't have to look through 12 different line items to find what my salary
Find
is.
what your salary is.
Yep.
So I don't know if that's something maybe we want to look at in the future.
Mhm.
We got a new guy coming in, I'm with you. It's,
I'm still fairly new myself.
Let's make that a note for the 28 budget.
To look at.
See if we can group some of these things
Slimlining.
together.
I had a couple other things, only just because of time here. This year, we decided to do some money into rainy day, which is something we used to always do, kind of fell away because we've changed positions. Do we want to, I'm not talking about appropriating, because appropriations is what this sheet is. Do we want to say we want up to 10% of that budget to go into rainy day like we did this year? So we moved the 80,000, because that was like our budget was 800,000, to rainy day to have something in that fund so it carries over as a cumulative fund. So if we wanted to do community crossing grant or something, we didn't have any money left in that account anymore, we would have account to go to do that. Rainy day is a nice one. If you go to any of the AIM meetings and any of the conferences, build your rainy day fund. They tell you to do it all the time. So it's just a question, because we didn't put, it's kind of like the unsafe budget, the unsafe fund. We put in a clerk fund for unsafe building fund of 5,000. We move it from that fund to the unsafe building fund every year. That would be the same thing. We'd be moving something from general to the rainy day
This
to
isn't
earmark
telling me
it
that we
for
have
a
time to
cumulative
rainy
fund.
day.
I think that's a good
I
idea.
know the numbers are probably.
You don't have to,
To a certain degree.
I'm not saying appropriating
Like, if we're
things,
gonna
because
go
she
the
did
difference
appropriate
between 26
like
and
50,000 or
27,
something, but it's to be able to make that
How much
money
do you wanna put in
movement.
rainy day?
So we have it there.
To go off with the general.
The HRA account, I think I sent a question out there. HRA account was task before, now it's iSolved. And when we left task, we had 5,000 and some odd dollars in the account that they had set up for us. Well, we use iSolved now. So when that money came, I don't know where it got deposited. That account is supposed to have, as I said, half of the deductible for, of your employees. So if you have 9 employees, you need half of that amount times 1,500 in that account. You're supposed to have it in there for that year. So if that's $6,700, we're supposed to have that ready in case somebody has a claim, so we can pay that deductible. We don't have a separate account for that right now. When Bill was here working on it, he was just always taking it out of any of the health insurance funds because we don't have an
I think
account.
that's a good idea.
But it's supposed to be held in a separate account,
Yeah,
and we
let's-
just never did it.
Let's do that.
So we probably should create something that would be called your health savings or health reimbursement account. So when you pay a deductible out of there, you know where it comes from, and then we know what we got to replace for that fund next year.
Okay,
Like, it's probably down to nothing now.
because right now it's just
probably-
in health insurance, that's
Right.
where I have it for 2027, so create one.
I mean, when we were with Task, it was required to be separate. I don't know if iSolved has ever told us, because it was when we had a different clerk and Bill was helping, and it just kind of, didn't go somewhere. IT, the best I can figure, it looks like it's $1,907 a month plus the 532 times 3. I think it's gonna be closer to 4,000 a month total, and I don't know if we got enough in all the ones you budgeted.
I
So
got the email
you were
back
gonna
from
look-
Mike Brown, because I gotta figure out police and
Okay.
fire plus what we have to pay, so I'm still working on
Yeah.
this. This was just
Yeah.
the first.
Right, so the ones where you have on all of the, well, some of them have telephone, and she put IT there.
Mhm.
She already added a lot, which is good. We just need to make sure we know what our numbers are.
Yeah,
And the county hadn't given us the numbers yet, so
and
How do you budget for something when you don't know what it is?
And not only that, and I'm gonna be budgeting it off of 2026 contract, because they haven't done their contracts for 2027.
Yeah,
So
so,
Yeah.
um,
I'm gonna be in the office all week. If you guys have questions or you wanna talk about anything, I know we're getting close on our time.
We are close on our time. We need to get ready for the next meeting, so.
Yeah.
If there's any other questions, we can bring them up with Tina
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
make the appropriate changes. There are no town attorney comments.
He's right beside you.
Yeah, he's not for this meeting. No council member updates. I think we've been through everything.
Yeah.
Next scheduled budget meeting is Tuesday, October 13th. 2026, you have down here at 6:30. Do we want to do the 5:30 again, or do we want to leave it part of the regular meeting?
I think we need to have more discussion on budget to approve whatever you're gonna add in for the IT and community crossing grant.
We
We're
can
gonna
talk
do
about it
something.
again in September before we,
Okay,
if you wanna do it
Yeah.
at 5:30 in
But
September.
as far as the budget approval
Yes.
process, the next meeting is.
Yep.
So do we want to have that approval separate from the council meeting, or do we want to have it during the council meeting
Let's do it at council meeting.
For September or October.
for October?
I think October, we can do it in the council meeting,
Okay,
because that's when
let's-
we're
let's do that.
approving it.
do we need
Alright.
another meeting to finalize though?
If we do, we can call a special session for that,
What's the date on the 23rd? Or I mean, October.
Okay,
October
I'm keep
13th.
talking here.
6:30. Okay.
Did we want to meet September before our council meeting at 5:30 to go over the
Let's-
changes?
Let's wait and see what kind of questions we got.
Okay, all right,
I think we have pretty much of a consensus of what we want to do.
okay.
So if there's no other business come before the board, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Andrew, second?
Sure.